frequency of objects, right? So you're given a list which contains objects from 3 classes. Given a list which contains objects from 3 classes: teacher, student, and admin. You have to print the frequency of each class on a separate line in the given format. So you have to print frequency of admin, then frequency of student, and frequency of teacher. Now, this is the interesting part. You're not given strings whose frequency you have to check. You may have all done this before, done strings and so on, but they're not giving you strings. They're actually giving you objects, and depending on the type of the object, you have to find the frequency of the type of the object. So meaning that here, if you see, they've given you an array list of objects. It's an array list of object type. That object subtype could be either teacher, could be either student, or could be either admin. Any one of those things it could be. Okay. So how do I figure out which class my current object belongs to, or what type my current object is? Again, so this is another syntax that you all need to know. And if you do a dot get class on an object, it will print out the class of that object, right? So what I'm going to first do is, in this case, I'm just going to try to figure out how to get the class, because if I get the class of the object, then I will, be able to, if I just get the class of the object, then what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to figure out how to get the frequency of it. So at least I should be able to get the class of the object first, right? So let's first do that. I'll use the for each loop for, object O in list of objects. Let's see if I can somehow print the class of these objects. So I know that there is something called as, let's say I did something like this, system.out.println. If I just did println O, I'm not going to get anything. I'll most probably get an address or something like that, right? So I get something like teacher at, student at, teacher at, and so on, right? This is one thing. I could use this, but this will not work because what's actually happening is O is being converted to a string over here. If I do something like e.get class, this is a method which allows us to actually get the class of it. So if I do e.get class, what it's telling me is telling me class space teacher, class space student, class space admin. Still is not solving what I want. What I want is exactly either teacher or student or admin. What I could do is I could do dot split over here, right? I could do dot split. What am I splitting on? I'm splitting on a space. What this is going to give me is it's actually going to give me an array. So I repeat, when I split it, I'm going to get an array, something like this, something like class and teacher, right? I should get an array like this because I'm splitting across the space. And then I'm saying for that array, get me the, so one second, get me the second element of that array. Let's see if this works. No, it doesn't work because I can't do a dot split on just the class type. I need to convert that to a string also. So let me do to string. And then let me see if I can split it. Yeah, so it's working, right? So again, let me tell you all the entire conversion that I did over here. What did I do? I first convert, I did get class. Okay. What get class returns is actually, it's giving me class type. It's not giving me the class string. Now you'll say, but sir, if it's not giving class string, how are we able to print class teacher, class admin, and class and so on? Well, we were able to print it because by default, Java will convert it to a string when I do system.out.println. So it's converting to a string. The moment I did, let's say, for example, I was just doing this, right? Dot get class when I was doing, right? At that point, it's converting this class teacher into a string. It's converting it to a string over there, right? By default, because it's a system.out.println. Okay. But if I want to access it and split it, I need to convert it to a particular string first. So I'll say convert to a string. So I'll say to string over here and convert to a string. Now, even that string is not useful to me because it still contains the word class. So what I'm doing is I'll split it. When I do dot split, what this will give me is it's going to give me an array. It's going to be an array which has separated by space. So what did I do? I did dot to string and converted to a string. That string I converted to an array, right? Now of that array, now this is an array. Of that array, I want the second element. So I went for index number 1. When I did that, I got teacher, student, teacher, admin, admin, teacher, admin, and so on. So this is just when I'm going through this list, I'm able to convert the particular object or extract from that object the type of the class, all right, or type of the object. Now I don't want to print that printing is not really helping me. What I want to do is I want to store string, let's say obj type. Let's say I say obj type is equal to this. So I got what my object type is over here. Okay. Now once I've got my object type here, what should I do next? Now I need to calculate the frequency of each, right? So the best way to calculate frequency is by using a hash map. That's the fastest way that we can do it. So let me just do hash map. Let me just see if it's imported, by the way. Can we import? Okay, they don't have a, what do you say? I don't think the hash map is imported as such. And I don't think I can add the import. Let me see if it's possible to add the import before. No, I can't add there. All right. If they have not given that beforehand, we might need to import it further. So let me see if I can import it here. Import Java. I don't think this should work, but nothing goes in trying. Anyways, so let's say hash map string comma integer. Let's say frequency equal to new hash map string comma integer. So I created a new hash map here, and what I'll do is I also want them to be in ascending order. So I'll make this a tree map rather, because I want admin, student, teacher, right? So I want it to be in ascending order of keys. So I'd rather keep it like this. You can also give linked hash map. That's up to you, right? So you can do frequency dot put. Actually, linked hash map would be better. Linked, it will be faster than the tree map. So linked hash map. And so yeah, I'm going to say frequency dot put. Initially speaking, we don't have anything, right? So we say admin, initially frequency is 0, right? Then we have student, and then we have teacher. So it says student, and then we have teacher over here, right? Okay. Now, as I'm going through the list, I got the obj type. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say int current frequency is equal to frequency dot get whatever the obj type is. And now I'm going to say frequency dot put obj type current frequency plus 1. So what this is doing is basically, if I come across, first I come across teacher, I say whatever is the current frequency, get that. It says 0. So now I say, okay, go there and now update that frequency to teacher, whatever, 0 plus 1. So now teacher becomes 1. Next time it encounters teacher, it says that current frequency is 1, increase it to 2. This is how we're doing it, how we are counting the frequency. This is a fairly standard approach of counting frequency. I'm sure you're all aware of this one. If you have not, we cover this as the general thing when we're doing hash maps. So I believe I've covered this with you all as well. Anyway, we did this. Now I just need to go through for string s in in frequency dot key set. I'm going through all the keys, and I'll just print system dot println s comma frequency dot get s, whatever the frequency of that element is, and we need to print it with a certain colon and all, right? So we'll do this like this. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I thought so. We will not be able to import here. Let's see if it works without importing, whether we have the ability. Is linked hash map part of it? No, it's not. So yeah, I think we'll have to do without the linked hash map, in which case we just have to use the count method. Does the array list have a count method? Or actually, instead of doing all of this, I'll show you the easy way. We unnecessarily did too much here. The easy way here is, that, okay, by the way, so it's not unnecessary, but just letting you all know, This is how we would generally do the frequency. One thing we can make good use of over here is you only have three kinds of objects. You don't have to overthink this. You only have three kinds of objects anyway. So if I just copy this thing here, right? But you only have three kinds of objects. You don't need to do all this frequency and so frequency hash map and so on. Simply put, we can do int count teacher equal to 0, right? Int count admin equal to 0, int count student equals to 0. And now when we're going through the objects, I get the type of the thing right now, and I'll say, okay, if obj type dot equals, let's say, admin, then we'll say, all right, if that is the case, then count admin plus plus. If the same thing, if it equals, else if it equals student, then you do count student plus plus. And if this is not the case, so then you will just do count teacher plus plus, right? Teacher. So this is what you have to do. And finally, we just have to print that. So we'll say system.out.println admin count admin. Okay. And similarly for student and teacher as well. Student and second. So I believe this should work out. All right. We did not give, what's the issue here? Yeah, extra brackets. Extra brackets were given. Let's try this out. Okay. No student. All right. This should be plus. This should be plus, and this should also be plus. All right. So that passes the test cases. And if I submit it, it should pass all the test cases. All right, everyone. So don't take a map unnecessarily. I took a map for, what is that? As somebody says, no, what is that? 500 IQ. And so no need for all of that mumbo jumbo extra stuff. You can just do the normal stuff as it is. So yeah, is this part clear, everybody? This much? Is this clear? This question. These were two OOP based. In this, both in this, you need to know the get class and how to transform it. And in the previous one, you needed to know how to, just about factory methods, basically. That's it.